the rematch. 42 seconds into this match, actually 42 seconds until start, we automatically get a little bit of contest. Quick charge of darkness onto the Pit Lord. Underlord. Underlord is his current name. Does get first blood, going the way of Outworld Devour. Now, Outworld Devour is not somebody you want to have a first blood on, especially if it's going to be mid. That mid lane is going to have a significant advantage. Outworld already being something very difficult for most people to actually contend with. I mean, the mana pool reduction, the save ability, the harass ability. Outworld is obviously somebody that's a high contender and contester. Nature's Prophet doesn't play any part in this kill, but it looks like we're going to get another charge. And that one was basically just for the rune. A little bit of bonus right click here going the way of the Ogre Magi. Ogre able to disconnect. Always kind of a plus. No more additional charges. Looks like Dazzle's sitting a little bit low. Man, Dazzle might want to consider taking what would be called the absolute walk of shame. Just make his way back to the house. Oh! That quick disengage from the Sleight of Fist on the side of Ember Spirit. Looks like they're not going to send Ember mid. It's going to be Medusa versus the Outworld, but there's still a lot of harass going top. He decides to eat a single tree here. It looks like it's going to be a rough life for that Ember up here for a while, at least until Ogre starts laying some of that paint down. That Ignite's going to have to do a lot of damage. Ignite automatically does. Now, the biggest benefit you have to a nice little Ogre, he does sit like between 5 and 6 natural HP regen. Your Ember unable to trade so well. Currently sitting at 10, but he does have the +7 here from the Tango. Once that drops down, going to have a little bit harder time. Does get to stay inside of that the range of tower, though, pending no pulls come his way. A lot more right-click and harass. Significantly more spam from the Ogre Magi. Very tough lane matchup. Let's see how mid's going. It looks like Medusa versus Outworld Devour. Outworld obviously having mana control issues. That is very, very early level problems. Outworld being extremely level dependent. Once you get some level sitting on top of that, that Outworld Devour, you're going to have a lot better off. We do have pretty basic game bottom. Rubik and the Pit Lord, Underlord. I swear his name used to be Pit Lord at one point in time or another. Underlord versus and Rubik versus the Jakiro and Nature's Prophet. You're looking at a lot of spam. You got double range for one. You got the fact that your attacks are going to be so slow. Once you get Fire Blast, I mean, let's look at the 1.47s on the attack speed. As long as you have, actually, that's just the standard. A 1.94 for the attack speed. Kind of curious to see what happens. I want to go and see what happens whenever you get the liquid fire dropped on you. Oh, 1.99 seconds with that liquid fire. That is such a painful right click. Literally 1, 2, smack. If you're not trained having to deal with that liquid fire, you're definitely you're going to want to be. Push back from the Rubik. Nature does not look like he cares. He does not have a Blightstone, but he does not need it. Just enough time to tick him down. Does TP almost in range of that tower. Securing the kill. A lot more harass being dropped down the way of this Underlord here. So far it looks fairly one-sided. Hate to say it, but this looks like it's going the way of Sky fairly well. You have a 4-1. Now, they did have a TA last game, so the biggest characters that you're going to need to have scale off, definitely going to be the Ember. Once Medusa gets fat, if Medusa gets fat, I feel like that's going to be your GG moment. It's going to be very tough for almost anybody to deal with Medusa, with the exception of the Outworld Devour. But Outworld Devour having such a low, man, such a low HP pool versus the spam coming from that Astral Imprisonment. You know, I don't really say this that often, but you might want to consider, would it be viable to get a refresher just to get a double imprisonment off to boost your mana pool, siphon the mana pool of your opponent, possibly help nuke down that Medusa? It's all mana pool based, right? So Medusa wanted to capture as big as mana pool as possible. Any kind of right click that gets attack on her whenever she's got the mana shield up, obviously it's going to be worth significantly more because that mana shield, I mean, it's going to get ticked down because the mana pool's actually lost. She's already lost 212 without even any kind of attempt from that Outworld Devourer or Outworld Destroyer. I said that, right? Yeah, I said that. Let's see what this hype is all about here. I hear a Nature's Prophet sprout. Looks like he popped up from behind the trees. This does have the Blightstone. A little bit of bonus right click here. Oh, and that is a quick contender. Makes quick work of that Rubik. Can anyone hear me? Good job, Morty. So proud of you, Morty. All right, gonna let this direct the camera kind of go where it wants to go at this point. Looks like Underlord does have a Ring of Regeneration. Still not enough sustainability to deal with the stuns. So many stuns between the tree, wrap up, ice path. Rubik's gonna try to poke a little bit out. Probably gonna just hug that tower. Medusa having one heck of a time, very likely up against the Outworld Devourer. Now let's look at when it comes to last hitting where everybody's standing. 31-26, not too terrible from the Medusa side of life. Now Medusa, once she gets a little bit of mobility, some levels under her for that split shot, she basically can't not farm, if that makes a whole lot of sense. Charge of Darkness pressed in on the Ogre Magi. A little bit of saving grace. Teleport out from the Spirit Breaker. Is going to make his way back to base. See if Dazzle's going to be able to make his way out. One Sleight of Fist is all he wants to really catch. And it looks like he's going to forego the opportunity. Despite having the Blightstone. Ooh. Looks like Ember's being charged. I would have considered charging in on that Ogre Magi. But it's not my call here. There's that charge. Picks up 3 creep kills on the way. Hits the Ember Spirit. Pushes him back into tower. Which, by the way, is exactly where he wants to be. Outworld Devourer picking up a kill on the Medusa. Medusa just being left with no mana pool. Sitting at a 201. I'm not exactly sure how many he lost, but I would venture to say it's 252. All we got to do is click on that Outworld, who now has a quick Meteor Hammer. Able to start dropping that and push that tower. That tower taking that 60 every tick. That stings. That stings the tower. It's almost as bad as like a Pugna-Q. Nature's Prophet TPing behind. Does sprout off on the Rubik. Rubik does, looks like probably he ate a tango there. I'm going to keep right-clicking down that Underlord. Nowhere to go. Sprout off on the Rubik. Trying to tackle him too. Does get the dual breath on him. Nice ice path. 11-2. This is a very, very well earned, very one-sided route. Now their saving grace is still this Medusa, but do they have anything to maintain the stability of the game to extend it to where Medusa can actually get the damage into? I don't feel like Outworld Devourer is going to give up on, I want to say the pressure more than anything else. Beautiful timing. Another death goes down. Ooh, a return death on that Dazzle. Going the way of Ember. Ember does look like he picks up 2 kills. That is a quick pair of boots there. Or at least one item for the boots. 268 coming off the Dazzle. Another 209 coming off the Spirit Breaker. Looks like a roaming gate coming from the Outworld Devourer. No real need, I guess, to have a friend in here. Does pick up the Remnants. Is he going to place one in the corner for survivability is the question. Utilizing illusions for tanking. Might want to have the creeps tank some of that. Allowing the illusions to just freely get hit by the tower here. Not pushing with a siege creep, but you have a timing on that. There is a ward here, so vision is definitely given to Ember. He knows exactly what's going on. Sleight of Fist going to go ahead and remove the illusions. See how much mana he gets from there. He's currently 111. So he's down 111. Now, being Ember, your life is fairly dependent on your mana ability. Looks like he did drop that Remnant, does get out of there. Trying to scope him out. They do know he's sitting up there top. Looks like a charge being hit on that Ogre Magi. Just try to save in that tier 2 mid lane. Underlord going to go ahead and TP in here also. Some of the build-wise, though, we have Dazzle. He did basically go everything into Harass and the Poison Touch. A little bit of survivability coming out with Shallow Grave. Is able to TP out of there. You do have Nature's Prophet, who definitely went heavy inside of a Nature's Call build. Nature's Call just gives you tons of little Sproutlings to just push and do whatever you want. As long as you can get the Sprout off, and then Nature's Call, the more of those that you turn into little monsters, the better you can actually creep block, body block, whatever you want to call it. As well as get some bonus DPS in there. You can also farm with it. Now, Dual Breath, pretty heavy here. Pretty standard. Dual Breath being the primary DPS at Jericho, at least until you get the Macro Pyre. Spirit Breaker did go for a full bash build. We do have, as you would expect, Astral Imprisonment as well as Arcane Orb. I do like going a little bit heavier on the Essence Flux from time to time, but for the most part, it looks like it's not really necessary anymore to go that heavy into it. Oh, that stings. Cancellation does go ahead and drop the that Nether Strike onto the Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi down. They're just trying to own and end this game as fast as possible. They're pushing into that Rubik. They're trying to take out these tier 2 towers. Any type of space they give to that Medusa is not something they want to give. So they're trying to get full map control. A Remnant out. Sleight of Fist into a Remnant out. Definitely some math calculations there, because I would poop sometimes if I didn't have it. Now, placing the Remnant is always free, but actually activating is 150 cost. He was kind of low on that one. Medusa's going to go ahead and push into that triangle there. Underlord just not really participating in the game, just pushing into that bottom tower. Despite Medusa needing the farm, but Medusa can't show her face. Rubik comes in just for a quick death. They do commit the Macro Pyre here. Really helps living inside of this teleportation area. See, spreading out here does allow you to make sure they can't come in invisible, unknown, all 5. It also helps them from having the gonads to do that. They did push into the tier 2. They don't have control yet of that outpost. Objective Gaming says you want to grab that. It looks like Jakiro's going to head straight towards that outpost. They have a DC from the Dazzle. Now, Dazzle is not in a happy place. He is sitting inside that jungle, but that is a long walk of peril making his way all the way down. That is definitely dangerous. See if we can get into this Dota TV. So that's the one thing you'll never find in pubs is the courtesy pause. Looking at itemization, we do have Mech on the Dazzle. That's a lot of bonus HP. Probably going to go into the full Dispel scenario. Now we do have Nature's Prophet on his way. Ooh, that might be a very decent early Orchid at the 12-minute mark. Definitely coming the way of the kills. We got Jakiro, does pick up the Veil of Discord. Obviously wanted to buff the magic damage. Orb of Venom on the Spirit Breaker. On top of the Phase Boot, so damage plus the ability to maintain crowd control on anybody who does charge. Meteor Hammer plus Hannah Midas. Hannah Midas takes a while to pay off. If you're trying to push this game and end it early, I don't think Hannah Midas is the most ideal route to go. Immediately gets ultied upon. Perfect, beautiful timing onto the Rubik. Rubik not able to really deal with it. It looks like there was a charge going in. Immediately stunned, and crowd controlled it out. And that is the pit of malice here. Any kind of stepping into that, you're just asking to be crowd controlled yourself. Looks like they might try to rotate into this Roshan. Will they have what they need to take this sucker out? Looks like the damage is definitely coming. 235 extra mana. Sleight of Fist is going to do a lot of work, especially out of Battle Fury. It looks like the Banish is going to come on. Does not get the opportunity to Sleight of Fist here. Will not be dropping the Meteor Hammer. Does have 4 seconds left on that. It looks like they're going to go ahead and retreat. They don't have an answer to this right now. Ember can't Sleight of Fist into it. Immediately pulled up by that Astral Imprisonment. They do know that there's a wardage scenario. Definitely Vision. Looks like a quick charge onto the Pit Lord. Right towards the end as the Roshan drops. Ice Path goes on the Pit Lord. Pit Lord unable to do anything. Does get his Pit of Malice out. A little bit of crowd control stun. Should call for a disengagement. Quick save from Astral Imprisonment. That goes on to the Dazzle. Dazzle still being Astral Imprisoned. This time by the Rubik's Accord. Does pick up the kill. Rubik dies. We have an ulti coming out from the Medusa. Medusa's been trying to catch up on the farm as much as possible despite getting Rick mid. Does take down the Outworld Devourer, who does have Aegis. There's no follow-up from the Ice Path. It looks like it's just going to be a quick death for her. And I want to say just a wipe. Not what we expected from an 18-9 game, but they pushed into that the Kongor pretty heavy, or Roshan, excuse me. Ooh. So let's look at Medusa's farm. She is now 118 deep. She was completely owning that mid lane. She was so far pushed out, but they're stalling out the game as much as possible. They're sitting at a 14-minute timing. I want to say that another 15 minutes or so, Medusa's going to be unstoppable just because of the space they're giving her. So they're trying as hard as they can to push up. They're going to go ahead and try to tag up on this Nature's Prophet. A quick, easy kill. Ember does pick up a little bit of extra farm using those little sprouts. It's not a lot of gold, but where you're sitting from, any gold is good gold. Last hit's nice. Let's go ahead and check out the current net worth. Now we're starting to go in our skill trees now. Outworld Devourer sitting on top, obviously. A lot of that common ways of kills as well as creep damage are getting the last hits, but more kills than anything else. Skill tree wise, Dazzle hasn't picked anything up. Still level 9, won't hit level 10 until, hey, it does hit level 10. We'll see what they're going to. Charge coming onto the Underlord is going to teleport his way out despite being knocked back and semi-stunned. Yeah, it's just that ulti just gets you out of dodge. All right, so looks like he went with 50 bonus extra damage going right-click heavy on the Dazzle. That's going to help out of that poison touch damage. 20 additional damage coming the way of the Nature's Prophet. I'm still a bigger fan, I guess, when it comes to the push side of the Wrath of Nature base damage, only because you're trying to get those lanes pushed out. You're trying to make sure you're getting this game as fast as possible because you do not want Medusa to get fat. We do have Jakiro. He's still level 8, hasn't picked up his level 10 talent. We have a level 9 Spirit Breaker and a level 12 Outworld Devourer who just got stuck with his own Astral Imprisonment. Probably compliments of the Rubik. Yep, he's still rocking that Astral Imprisonment. That was not a self call. Negative 257 mana. It's a tough life, but the thing is Outworld Devourer really doesn't care. He's living an infinite mana life. Does pick up an additional 20 attack speed. Wants as much DPS as possible. You have level 10 finally hit on top of the Ember. Another 15 damage sitting there. Let's see here. We do have another 16 Ignite DPS. Now that Ignite on the multicast is really good for everything from farming, a lot of harass, a lot of overall damage. Charge coming on the Rubik. Nature's Prophet sitting behind him. Looks like they're going to be able to get that Astral Imprisonment off of him because he is officially dead. The Mana Sucker sent her a nice little snake down there to snipe some mana. Ooh, able to push multiple camps because that's basically what Medusas do. Looks like they're still going to come in ward, try to make sure they keep all the pressure on this Medusa as they possibly can. Pit of Malice being used just for crowd control to make sure nobody pushes into that tier 2. Despite already giving up their tier 2 top and the outpost for what looks like about 5 or 6 minutes now. Some more sprouts coming in. That's going to give you a vision check on anybody teleporting or coming in off to the side. Another Pit of Malice used. Nothing but crowd control as best they can. Charge going in onto the Ember Spirit. See how that one goes. He does get out of there. Actually, Ember makes his way up towards the top. Still has a Charge of Darkness on him. Like Mukau went from one side of the map to the other. Is going to get stuck at that Pit of Malice if he followed all the way through. So he'd stopped it himself. They did devote the Macro Pyre. I did not see an Ice Path come down. And unfortunately, the Outworld Devourer will eat it here. It looks like they're possibly losing control of this fight as Medusa becomes a more significant portion of this fight. Charge coming on the Medusa. Are they going to be able to do anything with it is the question. Still sitting at 1,900 mana. Does pop the ulti, sitting at 500 mana. Not too worried about the Jakiro. Doesn't want to tank too much of that tower damage. Instantly begins to regain, sitting at 7. Charge going on in the way of the Ogre. Ogre Astral imprisoned. Unfortunately. Oh, he actually makes his way out. Rubik still maintaining that Astral imprisonment. Saves the Ogre's life here. Jakiro is still down. Ember being charged on. Charge of Darkness. Does not have the follow-up ulti. Looks like Pit Lord's going to save his buddy's life. They transported directly to well, I assume. Yes, they did. He picks up, remnants his way back. Instantly back to farming. And I mean instantly back to farming. Looks like Rubik's probably going to get picked off here again. Charge of Darkness not able to be used, but Ice Path as well as the Sprouts. A quick 1-2 shot going the way of the Jakiro. Not who you would typically want, but a 21-13. Considering that they were at one point up significantly larger. Looks like I is going to make their way back pretty well here. Looks like another 25 attack damage coming off. Really, Jakiro went attack damage as well. Oh, attack range, excuse me. Let's see, Dazzle. 50 damage, nothing new really added to the tree. Obviously the 20 damage, we just saw the Jakiros. Spirit Breaker did pick up additional armor. Night Vision isn't super necessary, but it is beneficial whenever your entire team has to deal with Night Stalker. I would definitely go with this additional vision, but it's isolated to himself. It is a little bit beneficial for the entire team though, because even though you're charging in the middle of the night, you still want to have as much vision as possible so your team can know exactly when and where and how to engage. Obviously, you're going to want to carry wards to open that up. 20 attack speed picked up on the Outworld. Looks like another 15 damage picked up on the Ember. I would have considered actually going the Flame Guard in this case because your DPS isn't really lacking, especially with that Molineer in the inventory. Right click coming out from the Sleight of Fist as well as the Searing Chains, pretty significant, but the Flame Guard is going to be your defensive stability, especially when you're going up against an Outworld Devourer who's basically pure magic. Macropyre, which is sitting on another significant source of magic, and I believe Poison Touch as actually just pure physical, but it's to still be able to kind of push off the other side. Huge deal. Let's see, 16 Ignite DPS. We already went through that. Rubik has just hit level 10, and I'm not 100% sure where he's going to end up treeing into whenever he gets to that point. Level 16 on the Medusa, just picking up as much fat, dirty farm. She's also gone into the evasion as well as the attack speed. Bonus evasion is not necessary typically because you really do have. Let's see, where is the stock plus? It's currently at the 15%. With that, is it worth going into a butterfly? I typically believe so if you're dealing with a lot of right clickers. In this case, your biggest, heaviest right clickers at Outworld Devour. It definitely wouldn't hurt. Plus its bonus stats, but you want that larger mana pool just for that survivability on top of it. Quick banish here. Ooh, Astral Imprisonment into that meteor. It looked like a frame-perfect meteor hammer. Is it enough? Man, unfortunately, it looks like it's not. One more right click would have done the trick. And it looks like he's just gonna live. Zeus ulti would be beneficial there, or even a full Exhort Invoker, Sunstrike. Oh, he really wanted to get that, didn't he? He turned back and saw that charge and wanted to basically Astral Imprisonment almost instantly. Nature's Prophet does make his way up there, immediately silences the Rubik. Quick disengage. Rubik able to charge, does get the... Oh, Ice Path dropping on top of the Rubik on top of it. It looks like Underlord's had enough. He is ready to bounce out of there. Does not get to save himself nor any of his friends. Does come with the buyback. And they just want to own this top lane at this point. They're trying to push into this tier 3. They do know that the timings are coming in very quickly for that Medusa. very difficult to push into Medusa after 30 minutes in. They probably have another 8 or 9 more minutes to end this out. If they don't get this done, Medusa's going to end up too fat, and they're not going to have a whole lot that they can contend to. Ooh, another Astral Imprisonment. Does drop the Meteor Hammer. A little bit late on the Meteor Hammer. I would be a little cranky at myself for that. I was also considered dropping the Meteor Hammer if you could have got both double the tower as well as the Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi still drops anyway. A Self-Astral Imprisonment goes there. Ooh, does start getting that charge from the Rubik onto the Nature's Prophet. Unable to lock down anything, though. The only thing they currently have is that Ember Spirit, who's sitting on that back line. Still going to get tagged up. Man, I love how those orbs just chase. Doesn't matter how far you are. Medusa trying to make sure there's a split push. They have to make a decision. Do they TP back or they let Medusa do Medusa things? Medusa just getting out of dodge. She has 19 mana. She sacrificed herself just to get that split push. Oh. Unable to capture that top tower yet. And there it goes. Slide of Fist, Searing Chains. Did he cast both? He did. Another Slide of Fist. Invisibility coming in the way of the Outworld Devourer. They immediately drop an Invis Ward. Unable to die due to that shallow grave. Does get the kill on the Medusa. They're sitting inside of that Pit of Malice. Does Astral Imprison himself, trying to save himself from that stun lock in there. Another charge on top of the Ogre Magi. And it looks like that's going to be a GG, ladies and gentlemen. 31-14, only a 3K gold lead. But what do you do when you have no buybacks or no cooldowns? It looks like Ogre Magi is the only one with a buyback. Not going to utilize it here because it basically will be himself and Ignite. Come on, Dazzle. Right-click that tower or that barracks. Melee barracks sitting at 50, 20, and gone. Another 600, 500 HP left on the range barracks. Try to pick up a little bit bonus damage on that Rubik. It looks like Nature's Prophet's going to make an effort to come down there and pick him off on the side. Looks like Dazzle grabs it anyway. Quick rotation to mid. Unfortunately, there's still a tier 2 tower mid, so they can't really push in because it's locked up. There's also a tier 1 in the bottom lane. So that's going to be a really good timing for the Medusa. Hopefully farm before they can push into those towers. Medusa's going to TP directly into the battle. Not utilizing her ulti. Does have it up. So does the Pit Lord, as well as the Ogre Magi always got his ulti up, as long as any of his spells are going. Ember does have full remnants available to him. Sitting in 1, we do have Ogre. Ooh, he did pick up the shield. Fire Shield being the Axe Shard. Pretty beneficial, good for saving a friend. Looks like they do pick up that tier 2 tower on the mid side, though. And that's going the way of the Outworld Devourer. Outworld did get another Astral Imprisonment on Remnant Boy. Burn the flame guard that he doesn't have on. Oh, he has the flame guard on. Another Astral Imprisonment does get Ice Path. A BKB popped on the side of Outworld Devourer. Begins to tag up that Pit Lord. Despite him just basically being the largest tank there is no Aegis. They did not push in or get Roshan despite having that opportunity directly after that top team fight. I feel like I would have pinged that out immediately. But, you know, hindsight's 20/20. Every contender is available, and Medusa is free farming and pushing in that bottom lane. Nature's Prophet's cutting off that creep wave. Make sure Medusa basically gets stopped, essentially. One of the beautiful things about Nature's Prophet, you can see him in that bottom lane. It's going to basically stop Medusa's push. Nature's Prophet does decide to go and jump into the fight. Starts right-clicking on that Rubik. Rubik is sprouted up and cannot have anywhere to go. Ooh, teleport being used. Oh, an instant Hex. Now, this, that Poison Touch, whenever you have this shard, does basically start out with, it causes the Hex, which cancels the teleport. They're trying to tag this Medusa. Is it too late? It's 25 minutes. Medusa's true timing. Macropyre damage doing all of the work here, taking down that mana pool. Medusa does die. The potential boss at this point is still killable. But how many more times are they going to be able to pull that off until this Medusa is too fat to deal with? It is getting tougher and tougher. Medusa did have her ultimate there. You chose not to utilize it. Little bonus crowd control. Pit of Malice. Double root coming off for the Nature's Prophet. Lift up. Oh, which way? Oh, nice BKB being utilized by the Nature's Prophet. It looks like he's going to panic out of there one way or the other if he survives. Does get to survive. It looked like he was actually dead there, but he was able to relocate out without the death. Another Charge of Darkness on the Rubik. Does start going into that top. They do dedicate all the damage outside from the distraction from the Spirit Breaker, along with a Shallow Grave. They're taking out that top tier 3, or the mid tier 3 tower. A few right clicks on that Ogre and he is toast. Overextending outside of that base was never a good idea. Loads of heals coming from the way of the Dazzle. Like we said earlier, it's going to go into that Guardian's Greaves. Did pick up the Greaves. Instantly Hex on the Rubik. Rubik is down. Medusa has returned. Was there any itemization or timing that she's been able to hit since then? Her last death, not likely, because you don't farm when you're dead. Scotty and an ulti there. Counter push. Probably one of the greatest counter pushes in the game. It's very temporary, though. Ooh, instant ice path. Sprouted up. Unable to locate and move to the locations you want to locate into. A lot of right-click potential damage coming there. Another ice path holding her still. Looks like Remnant Man's going to come in. Oh, he does get a kill. He's picking up a double kill. Will he grab a third and a fourth? Who is left to kill on this team? That was very well executed based on Ember. So our boss was the Medusa, but Ember just came up for the cleanup. He did give them the back. He did come with a buyback. Rubik's definitely in trouble. Remnant comes in. Quick slide of fist. Trying to right click down as fast as possible. Almost picked up a rampage there, but nobody else was there to feed into it. It's rather unfortunate the entire team wasn't there during that team fight. I think that would have gone a significantly different way. They still have a gold lead on the side of Sky. Another charge coming in on the Ember Spirit. Ember's Flame Guard doing quite a bit of work. It looks like they're going to try to get out of there. Unfortunately, unable to. That is 5 men down. Buyback still available on the Medusa. Does not want to use it because Medusa needs a lot more gold to go. And it looks like that is a GG Rage Quit scenario. End of round and game 2 here. Beautiful game. Round of applause. Sky catches the win. Like I said, it was a 30-minute timing. If they didn't end it by 30 minutes, their lives were going to be basically hell at that point. And they pushed and understood that and respected that, and they just farmed in 29-08, not giving any kind of room for that Medusa. I don't think I would have called GG there. I feel like Medusa's timing, despite how their game was going, Medusa was still a very significant player. And the fact is, like, one way or the other, with or without the Medusa, the Ember was still able to come clean up and grab 4 kills. I think the other side, though, is the other team wasn't predominantly complete, and it just became terrible. It was a tough game to go to. So congratulations to you, Sky. Good job on that. It looks like we got Kiba Arms as well as Celestials coming in. I'm going to go ahead and rename the title of this stream. So give me like 20 seconds or so, and I'm going to reboot the stream, and we'll be right back. It's been fun. It's been great.